Hi there, Sandra here from Sundance Yoga. I'm making this recording to help with foot mobility and strength, foot and ankle mobility and strength. It will be in 3 sections. The first section is about 5 minutes, 5 exercises about a minute each. The next 2 sections will be about 6 minutes and 7 minutes each. My suggestion is if you're just starting, just do the first 5 minutes. Come back and do it again 4 or 5 times a week for a couple of weeks, and then add the second section for 2 or 3 weeks, and then add the third section. If you're feeling strong and you want to try it all, you're welcome to do so. Remember, it's always easier to add more than to scale back, but you can always do both. So, starting seated, you can also do this in a chair if being on the ground is difficult for you. We're going to start with about a minute of toe crunches. So all you're doing is making a fist with your toes and then spreading your toes back and forth. The goal of this is to bring blood flow to your feet. We want to encourage blood flow to help lubricate everything, get everything feeling good and moving before we start exercising. But at any time, just as a break for your feet, you can just stop and do some toe crunches. Now, if you're not comfortable or familiar with doing this exercise, you may have had enough already, and that's okay. You can always stop at any moment, but we're just about at the 1 minute mark. And now we're going to switch to circles. You can support yourself. I'm going right first, but we're going in each direction for about 20 times. And then we're going to do a back and forth motion for another 20 times. 5 more this way. And change direction. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You want nice big movements. Moving that ankle as much as possible. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now back and forth, pumping. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You probably felt that in your ankles, maybe in your shins, maybe in your calves. Now I want you to come to standing any way that you can. And we're doing foot weight sways. So start with your feet about pelvis width apart, and we're just rocking to the big toe side of one foot and the little toe side of another foot, the other foot. Getting that sideways motion happening in your feet. The further apart your feet are, the easier it will be on your ankles. So if that feels okay, bring your feet a little closer. Rocking back and forth. If you've had an ankle strain or an ankle break, you may really notice the difference between one foot and the other. So just go at your own pace and go as long as it feels okay for you, never going into pain. Just a few more seconds here, and then we're switching to foot rocks. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. I'm lifting my toes and then lifting my heels. Now we're starting to work into the strength of your feet, getting some strength building into your calves, a little bit into your shins, but definitely through the arch. And maybe you don't go as high as I do. That's okay. Any movement is good. You may notice that I'm on 2 stacked mats, so it's a little bit thicker than you may have. And that makes my surface a little more unstable, a little cushier, and therefore a little harder. You can do it on the bare floor. The last part of this section is heel bounces. So all the weight is going into the front of our feet as we lift and drop the heels. This is much more difficult than it looks. You're probably feeling it in your calves already because we're at the 30-second mark. If that's enough for you, build up to a minute. One thing to keep in mind is to keep weight across the front of your foot, not rolling out to your baby toes, but keeping weight in your big toes as well. That will help with your balance, and it works the whole foot a little more evenly. Just about 5 more seconds here. And take a little break. Give your legs a little shake. Now, if that's your first 5 minutes, if that's enough for you, that's great. For the second section, you may want a chair, and you will need a ball. We're going to do some ball work, about a minute on each foot. I'm just going to show you how we actually have 3 arches in our foot. The normal arch that everybody knows about, but we also have an arch along the outside edge and across the ball of our feet. So the first thing I want you to do is start rolling that ball along that inner arch. About 4 or 5 times, just very moderate pressure, and then take it to the outside edge. 4 or 5 times. You're in control of the amount of pressure. Then plant your heel and roll the ball across that meaty bit behind your toes. Roll the ball back and start putting some pressure on your heel. If you have any plantar fasciitis, this may be quite painful. Work your way up the foot, moving your heel back, and then each toe, try to press your big toe in, then your 2 middle toes. Maybe you can lift your heel, maybe not, and then the last 2. Notice the difference between your feet and move to the other foot. That was just a minute on one side, and you probably noticed that that foot you worked feels a little bit flatter on the ground. Inside arch, outside arch, and then across that medial arch. And bring that ball back. Press your heel into the ball. Roll your heel back, press just behind that middle arch, and slowly move it forward, putting as much weight on as you can manage. And then you're into the toes. So start with just your big toe, getting that extension, middle toes. And then big toes. Now, that's it for your ball. Take a seat either on the floor or on your chair. And we're going to mobilize these toes a little more. So we're starting by just moving the big toe and the second toe back and forth about 5 times. And then we move down the foot, forward and back, separating the toes 3 or 4 times. And then go back up, but this time we're spreading those toes sideways. Keep going with that, or if you can, interlace your fingers and roll those toes forward and back, and a couple of circles in each direction. And switch sides. That's a minute already on that foot. So once again, toe mobilization. And then forward and back. All the way down your foot. I'm hoping you can see this, what I'm doing. Then spreading them apart, sideways. This is something it's hard to do on your own. Then if you can, get those fingers right through, like you're clasping hands only you're clasping your foot. Circle in one direction. Circle in the other direction. And back and forth. If you can't get your fingers between your toes, don't worry, just spend the full minute doing your toe separation. Okay, coming up, we're going to work on something, a little bit of arch control. So for 30 seconds, I want you to take your weight to the outside of your foot and then the inside of your foot, flattening your foot and raising your arch. It's not a big movement, but you'll notice that your knees move in and out. And you try to keep your toes relaxed on the ground as you move to flatten your foot and raise the arch. And we're just doing that for about 30 seconds. It's kind of a strange movement at first. And then I want you to lift your big toes. Put your big toe down, lift all of your littles. Go back and forth, pausing at the top. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see it this way as well. Big toes up, little toes up. If you're having trouble isolating that movement, just reach down to your feet and hold your feet down. Now coming down to the ground, hands and knees, tuck all of your toes and start to rock back and forth. Putting pressure into those big toes, all of your littles. Reach back and make sure your little toes are all tucked under as well. Bounce into it. If it's okay with you, maybe you can sit back. And maybe, if that's too much, you just put a block or more in between your bum and your calves. Release that, tap out the tops of your feet, and if it's okay with your knees, sit back, bringing some stretch to the top of your feet. And maybe you just rock back and forth. Maybe you can lift one knee and then the other knee to stretch the top of the foot. And maybe you can lift both and get a nice stretch to the top of your feet. And that, my friends, is the end of your second session. If that's enough for you, that's a great foot workout. Try to do the 2 sections together 4 or 5 times a week. If you're up for more, Come on, we're going to work on some strength. Coming up and coming to your wall. If you don't have a wall, you can do this raised against a door, but we're starting with heel lifts. So get yourself as close to the wall as you can. Your bum, your shoulders, and your head are against the wall, and you lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause. Bring your fingertips down to the pads of your fingers and rest your thumb on your jaw, your knuckle right above your eyebrows, and squeeze your elbows, bring them to the wall. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Relax your arms down, turn your feet out. Again, your heels are as close as possible to the wall. Your back is resting, and you're up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 more shoulder squeezes, elbow squeezes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Turn your feet in, so you're pigeon-toed. Weights against the wall for resistance. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Step your feet forward. So you're about half a leg length away from the wall. Your weight is back against the wall, and you can lift your toes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we just did some really good foot strength, ankle strength work. Release that, give a little shake, and you're coming back to the wall for a wall squat. So again, you don't have to be at a full 90 degrees. Find that place where you can press into the wall, flatten your back, and hold yourself, because we're staying here for 2 minutes. Think about the weight in your feet, pressing into your big toes, pressing into your little toes. Feeling that pressure of the ground beneath your feet, pushing up, pressing your low back into the wall. Bring your hands up and start to circle your wrists. Got to do something while you're just sitting here for 2 minutes, sorry. Now, other direction, about 10 times in each direction. Keep pressing your feet into the wall. Back and forth. We've passed 1 minute now, halfway there. Now bring those fingertips right to the pads of your fingers and up and down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Keep your fingers squeezed down, kind of like a golf club grip, and circle your thumbs forward. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shake out your hands. Lean forward. press yourself. After doing your wall sit, let's take some time to stretch your calves. So options, 1 or 2 low blocks or 1 regular size brick. I like the 2 blocks, but that might be too much for you. We're going to start with the balls of your foot up on the brick. And this back foot is back. You want your legs straight. Find that place where you can press your heel into the ground and hold it and feel that stretch. After 15 seconds or so, you may be able to move your foot a little bit forward. And then bend both knees just ever so slightly to take that stretch down into your Achilles and the smaller muscles of your calf. Step back and change your feet on the blocks. Find that starting position, pressing that heel into the calf, into the ground, I'm sorry. Straight leg, don't let your bum stick out, press it forward. Maybe you can move that back foot forward a little bit. And then into that Achilles stretch. Finding that place where you have a tolerable stretch. Again, we're never going into pain. And step back. Moving your blocks out of the way. Our last little bit will be a balance practice. So we want to narrow the focal point, narrow that position on which we're balancing. So find a position that's challenging for you. If you can stand with your ankle bones touching, and that feels good, that feels safe and secure, maybe you need to up the challenge. I recommend being near a wall so you can use it for balance. A split stance, making it as narrow again as you can handle. Finding that balance, maybe bringing all your fingertips together for the balance mudra. And to begin, we're just standing here. If you find that this is not enough challenge, try turning your head from left to right. Your feet will wiggle, and that's okay. That's what we're trying to get them to do, to work all those little stabilizer muscles. And if you feel very confident, put a finger on the wall and close your eyes. And then see if you can remove that finger just for a little bit. Ten more seconds. And step back and change sides. Once again, seeing if how that balance is just with your ankles close together. And if that feels okay, then moving to that split stance. Finding a spot in front of you to focus on. If that feels good, maybe you can turn your head nice and slowly from left to right. Remember as well, you don't need to do all of these in each session. These are options for you to build on. Finding that wall. What's it like if you close your eyes? Can you take your finger off the wall, even for a little bit? Five more seconds. And that's it. That's section 3 complete. Thank you for joining me. If you're working on all 3 sections, try to do that 2 or 3 times a week, maybe more. See how your feet feel. Remember, if your feet and ankles feel very sore the next day, then you've probably done a little too much. You can always scale back and have 2 rest days in between sessions. I want to give some credit here and kudos to the Foot Collective guys out of Australia, and also to Jill Gomo from Beautifully Aligned. Check out both of their websites and Instagram feeds. Lots of good foot strength information. Thanks for joining me.